Hello again, everyone. Edwin Leonard back once again. In this YouTube NFL prediction segment, I'm going to be giving you my picks and analysis for Week 9 of the 2018 NFL season. So anyway, first game up, I want to take the Oakland Raiders reluctantly on the road against the San Francisco 49ers. This is basically, I see this like the toilet bowl game of the week. Two wins combined between these two teams. The one win Oakland has is against the Browns, just 7 defensive sacks on the season. But the thing about this game is I'm basically taking Oakland reluctantly because the offense has just looked a little bit better over the last two games. In contrast to San Francisco, Oakland has scored like 31 points in the last two games. San Francisco 25. I think San Francisco just had field goals in that last game, if I'm not mistaken, and Oakland did have a number of touchdowns. I just feel that with John Gruden right now, there is a lot of pressure on him right now, inordinate pressure. He even made some statement about, well, they're going to take me to the woodshed or something similar to that if I don't get things turned around soon. So I'm just going to go with Oakland. It's going to be a tight game one way or the other, but I do like Oakland to win on the road. San Francisco has lost 6 in a row. So they're in a little bit of a losing streak right now, like Oakland, but San Francisco has just recently looked a little bit worse than Oakland. So I'm going to take the Oakland Raiders to get this done on the road. Anyway, next game. I'm going to take the Chicago Bears on the road to defeat the Buffalo Bills. Chicago right now, I mean, they're definitely a very improved team. They may not have been winning much of late, but they do have Khalil Mack. They right now, the team, I mean, is averaging 27.7 points per game. This offense has really played very well. They also have right now, as far as defensive interceptions, 11 defensive interceptions. And you look at Buffalo right now. Buffalo is just averaging like 10 or 11 points per game. Their offense has just been abysmal, to say the least. I mean, they just have only, just as far as pass completions, just 130. The offense is totally anemic. Number 32 total and scoring offense. Quarterback has been sacked 29 times. They are just right now, they can't do anything on the offensive end. Just 6 points in the last game against the Patriots. That was a home game. I do like Chicago. They just actually could score more points than Buffalo. I think the offense will be more fluid and more continuity on offense. I do like the Bears to win this one on the road. Next game, I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs on the road to defeat the Cleveland Browns. Kansas City right now, they're an offensive juggernaut. I know they don't have much defense. I don't think that's going to make that much difference. Quarterback Patrick Mahomes playing lights out, 26 touchdowns now on the season. This is one of the best offenses in the NFL right now. You have Cleveland right now is going through a little bit of turmoil. Many of you may know, they just recently got rid of their offensive coordinator, Todd Haley. They got rid of their head coach, Hugh Jackson. However, the defense does have some playmakers. I mean, they're allowing about 26 points per game, but they do have 12 defensive interceptions. They are at the top or near the top in terms of takeaways. The defense is opportunistic. They are at home. They will make this game maybe a little bit closer than some anticipate, but that offense of Kansas City is going to be way too much for Cleveland to handle. I don't think Cleveland's going to be able to have the offensive output to match Kansas City. Cleveland with a revamped offensive philosophy maybe in this game, given they're going to have a new offensive coordinator, new head coach. It may make a little bit of difference. They may make a little bit more of what they have than they had in the last few weeks or so, but I do like Kansas City to get this one on the road. Only loss Kansas City's had, of course, is to the Patriots. That was on the road. Anyway, next game, I'm going to take the Miami Dolphins at home to defeat the New York Jets. Miami right now, the defense has not been stellar. The number 32 total defense. However, 7-5 at home since 2017. They have some bright spots on their team. Kiko Alonso is one of the best in tackles in the NFL, 76 tackles. I think the offense will just be good enough to get this job done in this particular game. They did defeat the Jets earlier this season at New Jersey. The Jets right now, their offense has been lamentable in recent time. They've been outscored 61-27 the last two games, just 2-10 on the road since 2017. I just really don't like their prospects in this one. They're starting to reel a little bit. This is reminiscent a little bit of last season, I believe, when the Jets, they had 3 wins early on the season, then they went on a little bit of a losing streak. I think this is going to be very similar what's happening to them right now. I see history repeating itself. You're asking Sam Darnold to go on the road to different environment, hotter environment, playing divisional opponent with the Miami Dolphins. I just don't see them getting this done. I like Miami to get this one at home. Next game, I want to take the Minnesota Vikings at home to defeat the Detroit Lions. Minnesota really has strongly underachieved this season. However, they're averaging about 299 passing yards per game right now. It's going to be very good. I mean, I think it's just about really their passing game is going to be too much for the secondary of Detroit. They have also, I mean, wide receiver Adam Thielen, obviously a beast. He has had 8 consecutive 100-plus yard receiving games this season. 9-3 at home since 2017. Detroit, on the other hand, just 0-2 on the road this season. They've been kind of an up and down vacillating team this season. Cornerback Tees Tabor should have a little bit better game than he did last week, and expect Darius Slay and Tees Tabor to play very well. But it's not going to be enough, I don't think, to contain it may contain the Vikings receivers, but it's not going to be enough to stop them. I think the passing offense for Minnesota is going to be a little bit better than the pass defense in this game. Given it's at Minnesota, I'll take the Vikings at home. Next game, I'm going to take the Washington Redskins to prevail at home over the Atlanta Falcons. You have Washington right now with running back Adrian Peterson has been playing lights out. They've won 3 consecutive games. They're really surreptitiously become one of the better total defensive teams in the NFL. DJ Swearinger leading the NFL in interceptions with 4. This team is just starting to come together, playing cohesively right now. I'm not saying they're going to, they're going to consistently be upper echelon teams, but they are good, and I do believe they can actually be good enough to win this division right now. I mean, they could dominate the teams in their division, and they could win it. Atlanta right now, I mean, this is not the formidable team of the past. Their offense is still okay. It's still pretty solid, but their defense is letting them down. They're giving up about 30 points per game. Whenever you have quarterback Matt Ryan and receiver Julio Jones, it's a lethal combination. You always have an opportunity, but it's not going to be enough. I think the defense is going to let Atlanta down in this particular matchup. I do like the Redskins to win this one at home. Next game, I want to take the Carolina Panthers to win at home over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Carolina Panthers are 10-2 at home since 2017. The offense has been on a little bit of a rampage. 57 points scored in the last 5 quarters. This team, right now, the offense is definitely one to be reckoned with. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers had an odd game last week. They had to come from behind. They did everything but win the game. They're going to replace Jameis Winston, the quarterback, with Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's going to try to work some magic in this one. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, though, they just don't have anything on defense to combat or counter Carolina. They're giving up about 33 points per game, only 1 defensive interception on the season, and they've thrown 13 INTs. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are first in the NFL in passing yards per game. They may be able to move the ball enough and get the passing game going to make this competitive. This could very well be a shootout, this particular game. But Carolina has been too formidable a home team since last season, coupled with the fact Tampa Bay just gives up way too many points. I like Carolina in this one, likely a shootout. So anyway, next game. I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road in this one against the Baltimore Ravens. I know Baltimore got them earlier this season, but right now Pittsburgh looks like they're playing a little bit better than the Ravens. The Steelers are going to be seeking retribution after losing that game earlier to the Ravens. Hold on a minute, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. But anyway, well, in this particular game, I mean, you got running back Le'Veon Bell may be coming back, but I don't think it's going to make that much difference. Connor has played very well. I think Pittsburgh is going to be fine no matter what happens as far as the running back situation goes. And they've also won 3 consecutive games. Pittsburgh has actually been a very stellar team on the road since last season, 9-1-1 on the road. And they have 24 defensive sacks, which is close to what Baltimore has. And Baltimore is leading the league with 27 defensive sacks. Baltimore is really low, but they've lost 2 straight, and they've given up 60 points over the last 2 games. That ravenous defense starting to go away. They're still one of the best teams in the NFL in scoring defense, though. Quarterback Joe Flacco, you always have a chance to win. I know Baltimore has played Pittsburgh well in recent time, but I think the way they're playing right now, Pittsburgh is starting to get things going at the right time, and Baltimore, it looks like they're struggling a little bit. I like Pittsburgh to get this one in the revenge game on the road. Next game. I'm going to take the Houston Texans to win on the road against the Denver Broncos. Houston right now, they're just real stealth, like they're getting right up there. Their team, I think some people may be overlooking a little bit. They've won 5 consecutive games. They have a very good quarterback there, and running back Lamar Miller has rushed for over 230 yards over the last 2 games. You have the Denver Broncos. They once had that vaunted defense, but right now just number 27 in the NFL in rushing yards allowed per game. They have also lost 5 of their last 6 games, and Von Miller and company obviously will have to step up big in this game for them to have a chance to win. They understand they are Denver. I mean, Denver has struggled immensely this season. This could be that game where they might surprise people and pull out a victory. They actually played pretty well last week, even though they did eventually lose that game. But I think Houston right now, the way they're playing, they're playing very cohesively. Everything's clicking offensively and defensively. I like the Texans to win this one on the road. Next game. I want to take the Seattle Seahawks at home to win over the Chargers. Right now, Seattle is kind of, they're really starting to play well right when they need to. I've talked in previous videos about their defense being revamped, and it's not this juggernaut defense they had or dominant defense they've had in previous years, but it's starting to step up. I mean, Earl Thomas and company may very well be starting to do something with this defense where it's actually getting back to what they had previously when they had Richard Sherman and company there. They've only allowed 17 points over the last 2 games. They've become quietly one of the better scoring defenses in the NFL, and they're actually number 2 in total defense, so they've surreptitiously done this. They're also, the plus 10 in turnover differential. Now, I understand the Chargers. A lot of people are lauding and praising them right now. They look like they could be a team that could go to the Super Bowl. And with quarterback Philip Rivers and that offense, you always have an opportunity. But the thing about it is, I just think with Seattle at home in this particular game, and the way that their defense has been playing, Chargers coming off a bye and going on the road in this one, it might be a little bit, I just don't know, they might be out of their rhythm a little bit. And I think Seattle right now is starting to go playing full throttle at just the right time, and they might sneak into the postseason as a wild card, I believe. I do like Seattle to win this one at home. Next game. I'm going to take the LA Rams on the road to defeat the New Orleans Saints. I went against the Saints, I know, the last 2 weeks, and I bombed out. I lost both those games, and I'm reluctantly going with the Rams in this one over the Saints. It's kind of like the way I'm looking at it with the Rams is when they lose, I might actually pick against them. So I'm going to ride with them until they lose. They may very well lose this one. I mean, I think it's they had something on ESPN earlier that said I think the pretty much it was a 50-50% chance for each team to emerge victorious. That FPI or PIF, whatever that is. The Rams right now, the defense is just a little bit better than the Saints. The Rams have given up about 19 points per game, and they're also a formidable road team. They're 11-1 on the road since 2017. Running back Todd Gurley, #1 in the NFL, rushing yards right now. They are clicking on all cylinders. As I've stated in previous videos, they have virtually no weaknesses. You look at the Saints. They are playing lights out right now. They have won 6 consecutive games. And in that last week they played, Drew Brees only had like 120 yards passing, and they still found a way to win. So this team can win in manifold ways. It's not like they're so dependent on Drew Brees, and it's not just predicated on how Brees plays. They have more of a running game. But the thing about it is, I don't know if their defense can hold up in this one. They held the Vikings to 20 points last week, but can they do the same to the Rams? I just don't think that's going to happen. I like the Rams defense a little bit better, so I'm going to take the Rams to win on the road. Next game, I'm going to take the New England Patriots at home to defeat the Green Bay Packers. New England is playing lights out. They've won 5 consecutive games. They're 10-2 at home since 2017. You have Julian Edelman, and the defense has surprised as well. They have 11 defensive interceptions. They only gave up 6 points last week. I know that was to the Buffalo Bills, but it was still a very dominant defensive effort. You have Green Bay, which played very exceptionally well against the Rams last week on the road. Be on the road in this one. However, they're 3-8 on the road since 2017. They're going to try to throw, I think, some confusing defensive coverages at Tom Brady and company. I don't think it's going to be enough. I think Green Bay could actually make this competitive, though, because they did play well against the Rams on the road last week. They have the capability and potential to making this a competitive battle against the Patriots on the road, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. I don't think their defense is going to hold to really be able to contain the Patriots that much in this particular game. I like the Patriots to win this one at home. Last but not least, I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys to win at home over the Tennessee Titans. Dallas right now has really very quietly, in stealth-like fashion, become the #1 total defense in the NFL. I was really flabbergasted. I was surprised to see that. #4 rushing yards per game at nearly 137, I think, and they're just averaging about 20 points per game, but the Titans are only averaging about 15. I think running back Ezekiel Elliott's going to get it going in this one. They're going to be at home. I think he's going to run rampant over that Titans run defense. Their run defense right now, I mean, it's like number 19 in the NFL. They're giving up about 113 yards per game. Tennessee coming off a bye. It's hard to say whether that's going to be advantageous or it's going to be to their detriment. Affects teams differently. I really don't think it really makes that much difference to the Titans because they just have not played very well. They've lost 3 consecutive games. They've averaging just 15 points per game. And over the last 3 games, they have not really been able to produce many touchdowns during that span. I think the offense is just struggling so much that it just would be very hard. I'd be hard pressed to pick them to win this game and emerge victorious on the road against the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm going to take Dallas to win this one at home. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube NFL prediction segment for my NFL 2018 Week 9 picks and analysis. And until next time, people, Edwin Leonard saying stay well.